Hey, so I promised that I would publish this on Monday. It's Wednesday and I'm publishing it now, but hey, that's okay. Um, so I made a couple slides to talk about the 30-day challenge and how we're doing and talk about a few ways that you can edit your blog posts. If you are choosing not to make new posts, there's other ways that you can edit your content throughout this month. So I think the goal is to just like move forward. That's really what I keep telling everyone. I received a message from someone and she just said she was really overwhelmed. And I get it. Like, this is like a pretty overwhelming time for a lot of people. Our kids are at home, our jobs may have changed. But honestly, like when I stay busy, it gives me sort of like a sense of purpose. So like um, I truly enjoy like all these busy tasks. It really sort of gets my mind, off of things, and I find myself learning a lot. I mean, some people ask me like, well, how do you know this about SEO? And I'm like, well, I read about it. Like I took 15 minutes and I did a class, or I watched a YouTube video, or, I took the time to really learn. And I think that's really, if anything, if we're staying home and if we do have a couple minutes, we can always like teach ourselves like new things, because that is a skill that we'll always use. So anyway, I hope that was a little bit motivational for you. But also, if you don't feel like doing anything, you don't have to do anything either. I think that's something that, there are many days that I don't update my blog, or weeks go by, because I'm able to just sort of live off of the traffic that I get on older posts. Like I don't have to update my main blog anymore because the traffic is substantial from old posts, so I could just live off of that. I choose not to, though, because I always want to like do better. I always have goals for myself, and I just want to like, have like a 5% increase in traffic, or I want to start a new site. And so I just sort of am always like trying new things to try to push myself to go forward. So, but again, you don't have to do anything, or you can do everything. There's no rules in this. So anyway, so week one, I made videos about blog post ideas, quick SEO keywords and how to find them, using a social share plugin, which one, and how to set it up. And then I did like a bonus video for how to set up a shop. I hope you watched all of those. They'll be up in the group until the end of the month, and then I'll probably retire them and put them into the membership platform. So for week two, what we're talking about today, so we're going to talk about how to revise posts. I want to talk about creating pins and how many pins that you should make. I actually might get into that at the end of this. So if I don't, comment and remind me. We're going to talk about Canva templates, and I want to do a bonus video about how to send easy emails. So a couple things on this that I wanted to bring up, especially Canva templates. You're looking at a Canva template. I did not make this from scratch. Isn't it cute though? I really like it. I like the colors. I think everything goes together. I like the fonts. I think one thing about me that I try to share as often as possible is that I do not do things from scratch unless I absolutely have to, because there are so many resources out there for you to use. So if you feel stuck, you should never feel stuck. There are so many starting places for you, to sort of get assistance if you don't know what to blog about. We've already talked about that and how to find ideas. Okay, so you found an idea and you really want to write about it, but you don't know what to say. Well, I bet there's some sort of guide or template, or, tips for writing a self-care blog post. Like, what should you include in a lifestyle post? Like, what images people like to see? Like, all of this information is out there. And I think, especially now, because, blogging has been around forever, there's just so many different ways to do things, but also so many resources for you to use to get started. And everything's been done before. I hate saying that, but you know, I do try to be somewhat original, but it's not always possible. And I could sit here and come up with ideas for different challenges that I want to do, and pretty sure this one has been done before, right? But no one has done it this way. No one has done it with these tools and these resources, with my voice, with my experience. It's all different. So hope that's helpful, but it goes into like just using templates. Using Canva really saves me a lot of time. I don't have to worry about what my images are going to look like or what my collages are going to look like, because I use the same template every single time, and it really streamlines the process, and I just don't have to think anymore. It's I think, just the opposite of overthinking. I just do it and it's done. Okay, so we're going to revisit old blog posts if you do not want to write a new post. So we're going to come up with a plan for how you're going to edit those posts. I suggest that you look at your stats and you start with your most popular posts. If you have a big site like I do, it's very obvious what my most popular posts are because they're the same posts every single day. The same people are going to the same 10, okay, well, different people are going to the same 10 posts every single day, and it's because they rank on Google and they do really well on Pinterest, and it's been like that for 2 years. So I actually have gone in and updated them a little bit, but be careful because if they are ranking, you don't want to lose that ranking. So sometimes like editing a really good post can actually hurt you. So just sort of like be careful, do some research. But yeah, so look at your stats and choose 5 to 10 posts that have, some sort of traffic. Choose the post that makes the most sense to revive first, especially if it's seasonal, if it's the easiest, maybe it has the most traffic and it could be better. So you're just going to make sure that the content is updated, it's formatted, the images are correct, everything's optimized for SEO, which we talked about in the last video, just making sure you're using your keywords. And if there's a chance for you to add some sort of like moneymaker into the post, then you should definitely do that. Okay, so you're going to go through your post and jot down any changes. If information has changed, you can rewrite it or add a note. Look in the comments. Maybe people have asked you questions and you didn't even see it. You could answer their questions in, the revision for the post. Make sure that you save the post too. That's very important. And if you are able to add some sort of moneymaker into your post, there's lots of things that you could do. Even just growing your email list, that is in some ways making it a moneymaker because maybe you sell in your email list or you use affiliate links. So growing your email list is pretty important. So if you can edit so what I did into my top post is I added a cocktail link at the top and I said, make sure you sign up for my ebook. You need this guide, whatever. It's actually converting. I'm shocked, but it is working. Maybe you want to make sure that you're building a relationship with your readers in your post. Maybe you have a Facebook group and you don't really promote it. Well, make sure you're promoting it in your most popular posts. You can sell them something if you have something to sell. If you don't have something to sell, you could recommend a product that you're an affiliate of. So I know everybody's talking about Amazon affiliates right now, slashing their rates. I have Amazon products in like all of my posts, and I'm not going to change that. I mean, that would be ridiculous. They're in there. I'm still using it. It is what it is. But if there are any products that I can be an affiliate of, I do have a lot of cooking stuff. I have a lot of stuff about planners. I'm definitely going to focus more on building those relationships and making sure that I promote those products in my posts. So, maybe you have, I keep going back to the self-care blog example, and I don't know why. It's just like at the top of my mind. So if you have like a self-care blog or like a women's health blog, and you talk a lot about journaling, you could start recommending planners at the bottom of your posts or weaved in, one way that I take really good care of myself is I make time for yoga in the morning and then I use a journal and I write down, my daily thoughts and my gratitudes. My favorite gratitude journal is, and I really love it because, and this was an affiliate link, and just make sure you end your post with, a call to action. Like, have you tried this product? Are you going to try this product? Did you sign up for my email list? Are you in my Facebook group? Not all of those at once, obviously, but just making sure whatever the goal is that you want for that updated post, that it's in there a few times. Okay, when you are updating your posts, you are also going to make sure that you make it pretty. And how are you going to make it pretty? A couple different ways. Making sure that you're using headings, subheadings, bullet points, and white space. People do not like to read big chunks of text, and I also have seen research where people hate when text is centered. That used to be like a really popular thing a few years ago. I think people have changed, but if you're centering your text, stop it. Please put your text back to normal and make sure that you are using headings and subheadings. If you can make bullet points, it just makes it easier for people to read, especially with headings. They help with SEO, so you want to use your headings in every post. I know a lot of people are using mobile for reading blog posts, and having like white space and bullet points just makes it a lot easier on that small screen. And if you have ads, that's like super important. Just making sure you have these like line breaks, your paragraphs are shorter. In Mediavine, I'm pretty sure they even tell us that our paragraphs should be like short. So because they run ads in between our paragraphs, and in order for them to serve, the optimal amount of ads, we need less paragraphs or less sentences in our paragraphs. That's what I meant to say. All right, in your quest for making your blog pretty, making sure that you have images, updating your pins, and you can also set up some printables too if you can. There was a time, this time is not now because I've changed sort of my focus, but there was a time when I used to get really stuck on blog post ideas and I just didn't know what to do. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to add a printable into every single post. Like, I'm just going to do it. Most of the time they were sponsored. And so it's about content that's pretty boring. Like, how do you make laundry detergent exciting? How do you make, batteries, right? Like, who wants to read a post about batteries? Absolutely no one. But maybe I could make like an organize your home checklist, and batteries is like a part of it. So, a laundry checklist, how to organize your laundry room, or, my top tips for like cleaning dirty clothes. How to remove stains, like things like that. I used to try to add a printable to every single post. I still have a lot of printables, but I don't like force myself to do it every time. But that's an idea for you if you can't think of a way to make your post pretty after you've, added like a moneymaker item in there. Like, how can I make this post pretty? A lot of times it can just be simple, like a meal planning checklist. The world already has millions of meal planner checklists out there, but that's okay because, again, it goes back to everyone's already done it. They haven't done it the way that you have done it, and your voice is different, and you just don't know like what's going to click and what's not going to click. So you might as well try. As for images, speaking of pins, so this is like a pin template. This is not the whole pin, obviously. This is like just the first half of the pin. This was a template that I purchased from someone, and I used it to make a brand new pin. Pinterest keeps changing, and with their recent sort of updates, we really need to be making so many pins for all of our posts, and I just don't know how feasible that is when we have a lot of stuff going on. So I've been trying to put like 2 or 3 images in a post that can be pinned or are Pinterest friendly images with text. I don't know how long I will keep doing this, or if I will go back and create pins for some of my more popular posts. But if you're able to sort of access Pinterest templates, you see some for sale. I'm happy to tell you where I buy my Pinterest templates from. It's always good to just have them in Canva because it makes it so much easier. You could make like 3 or 4 pins for every blog post in like 30 seconds, and that way you wouldn't have to think about it anymore. So please remind me if I don't leave links for that, I will. All of this was Canva. Did I say that already? Yes, the center was Canva. The printables, that is a picture stock image from Canva. I made the fonts are in Canva. Okay. Other ways that you can make your blog post pretty as you are revising it is checking for broken links. You can use a broken link checker and it will tell you all of the links on your blog that are broken. There is a plugin that will do this for you, but I have been told not to use the plugin. Again, this is one of those things where people tell you different things and you just don't know who to believe, but I do not use the broken link checker plugin because I've heard it slows down your site and it sort of just uses a lot of resources. There's a website where you can just type in your URL and it pulls up broken links and you can do it that way. So that's my tip on that. Make sure that your categories and your menus are sort of all up to speed. I'm the worst at this. I would make categories and then no one would be able to access them. So you really need to remember that if you're going to make a new category, that there's a path to it. If you're doing a lot of recipes and you have side dishes, desserts, snacks, make sure that there's a place in your menu where people can click those. I try so hard to have simple menus and to try not to have a lot of categories, but it's impossible. But everything is organized. So there may be like a big drop down, but it's all in there and you can find what you're looking for. All right, and then if you're not using the Create plugin for recipes, DIY, and lists, please do. I talked a lot about this in another video. It looks really nice. You're able to leave reviews. It's good for your SEO. If you have Mediavine, they're able to serve ads in it. It's just great. It's great. And I feel like I keep telling you it's great. It's still great. For lists could be anything. It could be a list of affiliate products, like my favorite pasta bowls, when it's a list of all your favorite products. It could be a roundup, like 10 awesome cocktails, which I did do a walkthrough of last week. There's a lot of different things you could do with it. You could use it for resources. I have not done this yet, but I want to, so like if you were to click and it was like my favorite blog resources, and it would be a list of all my blog resources, and it would have like a cute little thumbnail and description, and it would just look so much nicer on the page than a super long list of text or bullet points or whatever. So I really recommend that you start using that. And then once you're done revising your post, make sure to share it with us in the group. Pin it. Use Tailwind to add to tribes. Bloggers Get Social has a group of tribes. We have a food, DIY, lifestyle, books. We might have a style one, but I think it's abandoned. But the food, we have travel for sure. Travel, food, and lifestyle are pretty active. And I'm happy to add you to them. Just let me know. Make sure to email your list when you have new posts. I always prefer to do like a newsletter though, not like every single time. I do not like RSS feeds. And if I haven't talked about that, I'm talking about it now. I'll probably talk about it in an updated video. Create a roundup to link multiple updated posts together if there's a theme, or source links from groups to make a roundup. So I'm really trying this. I'll let you know if it's working, but for example, I posted a whipped coffee, and then I got other whipped coffee recipes that were different, and then I linked them all together in a roundup. So now I have 2 posts on my site. One's the recipe about the coffee. The other post is a roundup of all my favorite whipped coffees. So I'm really trying that. I'm going to see if that works. If anything, it helps build community with other bloggers because I'm sharing their links, and hopefully they'll share mine. So once you make a secondary post that's a roundup, make sure to pin that post and add it to tribes. Tell everyone on Instagram stories about your updated and new posts. I forget to do that all the time, and it's crazy because especially now, we're all at home right now, so everyone is on their phones a lot more than usual. I am surprised that my swipes are so much higher now than they were, so it is a really good resource for you to share your updated posts. And of course, there's Canva templates for new blog post Instagram story slides, so you can just go on Canva, make a couple cute slides, and publish them in not a lot of time. So I hope that was helpful. If we want to talk more about revising your posts, I think the main things were just figuring out what your moneymaker is going to be in your post and making it pretty. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. I'll probably be online again to talk about it later today. So I hope that was helpful. And let me know if you have any more questions.